You're listening to the Every Student, Every Day podcast with me, Jim Franchini, Superintendent of the Averill Park Central School District. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Every Student, Every Day podcast. We have a lot of really great community partners here in the district, and one of our favorites is the Girls on the Run program. So we thought we would feature them. As we record this, they have done their practice 5K and are getting ready for their real event. Always an exciting time, and we have great participation here in the district. So we thought we would invite them on just to talk to our listeners about what the program is and how we are doing here in Averill Park with it. So thank you for joining us, everyone. And we'll go around as everyone introduce themselves, give us a little bit of your background. Ashley, why don't we start with you?
So my name is Ashley Champitto. I'm a second grade teacher at West Sand Lake Elementary. I have worked in Averill Park since 2018, and I have been coaching since the spring of 2019. This is my 9th season with Girls on the Run, and I have coached in both Averill Park and at the Greenbush Y.
Great. Thank you, Ashley. Our other Averill Park representative, Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna Brand. I teach 6th grade science at Algonquin Middle School. This is my 3rd year doing Heart and Soul, which is the Girls on the Run program at the middle school level, and is my 8th year in Averill Park as a teacher.
Great. Thank you, Jenna. And from Girls on the Run, Karina.
Thanks. Hi, I am Karina Black. I am the program coordinator with Girls in the Run Capital Region. I have been in this role for 3 years.
Great. Thank you for joining us. As I said, I know this is a busy week for you as you're preparing for your big event coming up. Karina, we're going to stay with you. Can you describe to our listeners exactly what Girls on the Run is? You know, what are some of the goals or mission? How long has the organization been active? I'm sure we're not the only school in the program. Is it a capital district thing? Just kind of talk to us a little bit about Girls on the Run, if you would.
Girls on the Run is an after-school empowerment program designed for girls in grades 3rd through 8th grade. We have 2 separate programs for that age range. 3rd through 5th grade is considered Girls on the Run, and 6th through 8th grade is called Heart and Soul. We are a nonprofit, and we focus on helping our participants build confidence, increase their level of physical activity, and learn essential life skills such as managing emotions, resolving conflicts, and forming friendships. We use curriculum at every practice that combines fun physical activities, engaging lessons, volunteer trained and caring coaches, and the whole goal is to help our girls discover their limitless potential. Girls on the Run itself is a national program with over 160 councils in all 50 states and in Canada. It was founded in 1996 and to date has served over 2.5 million girls. Locally, we are in Albany, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, Warren, and Washington County. So we are all over the capital region. We started in 2014 and we have served over 2,900 girls. This season, we have 256 girls participating from 19 teams, along with 59 volunteer coaches. In Averill Park, we have 45 girls participating from Algonquin, Miller Hill, and West Sand Lake. Something that is a fun fact for Averill Park is you are the only school district we have had a season with teams at every school. We've done that twice, which we were very proud of here at Girls in the Run Capital Region. In the fall of 2018, West Sand Lake joined and was the first team to do Girls on the Run in Averill Park. So far, we have had 363 students go through the program between all of the schools. Pretty exciting numbers.
Wow. That's great information. I knew the extent of the program here in the district, had no idea the extent of the program, not just throughout the country, but even internationally. That's pretty interesting. Very nice. Well, thank you. Ashley, you are the coordinator of the program in our 3 elementary schools, which, as Karina mentioned, we're very fortunate that we're able to run the program in all 3 of our elementary school buildings. Can you talk to us a little bit about the program at Post and Kill, at West Sand Lake, at Miller Hill, and what's kind of going on in each building, and then maybe talk to us a little bit about what led you to take on your role of guiding these girls in grades 3 through 5 in learning empowerment and resilience and those key characteristics.
Yeah, so as Karina said, Girls on the Run started here in Averill Park in the fall of 2018, which was before I actually started working here in Averill Park. So other teachers were already running it. That fall, the final 5K was snowed out, and it was extended through the spring. The girls were invited to run in the spring. I had started working here and was asked to be a running buddy because I enjoy running on the side. So I helped out because a lot of the buddies had stopped training since the season was supposed to end in November, and now they were running in June. So I had helped out, attended the first 5K that way, and then the teachers that were running it could not run it in the spring. I didn't know how to run it. We figured it out, and I actually didn't run it here first. I went to the Greenbush Y and then brought it to Averill Park that fall. Then Post and Kill had teachers who worked at Post and Kill, and their students, their own children came here to West Sand Lake as students, and they decided to bring it to their school. And we just continually got larger and larger until we had all 4 schools included. And all of the schools are really working hard to encourage the girls. Sometimes we have wait lists. Girls on the Run technically closes out at 12 girls on a team, and they've opened up our schools to 20 because we're teachers and we are used to working with more than 20 students at a time, where a typical coach could be anybody. It could be a mom, a dad, a coach from another sport that's just helping out. So because we know how to manage larger numbers of children, we have been opened up to larger numbers here in Averill Park. So all of the schools are really trying to encourage and motivate the girls, use the skills that they learn in Girls on the Run in the classroom and throughout their school day, throughout their life, to really make them better humans is what it's about, and how to use those skills outside of the program. So that's how we got all 3 elementary schools going. And last fall, I think we had 60 girls, 20 from each elementary. So that was awesome. And I know Post and Kill is not here this season, but they plan to be back soon.
Great. Thank you, Ashley. And thank you for all the work that you've done. The program is certainly booming here at our elementary level. Jenna, going to the middle school, can you talk to us a little bit about the middle school version? As you said, the name is Heart and Soul. Kind of what led you to take on this role with our middle school girls in terms of learning these important skills?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 parts of the question. One is, what's the middle school version like? And then also, what led me to do this? I've never heard of Girls on the Run when I got asked to do this. I am not a natural born runner, but I am a natural athlete. I love athletics. I grew up playing sports. So when I was asked to coach, I thought, wow, well, that's a great little fit, because I can fit it into my schedule. I can be part of a team. I can, get that kind of coaching and leadership fulfillment in like a small little bite-sized piece. And I thought it was a great idea, and I've enjoyed it ever since. So I've come back for the 3rd season now, and I've really enjoyed it. The middle school version is really catering to that middle level girl. The lessons, the activities, the running, every piece of the curriculum is really built to meet the needs of an adolescent teenager, going through all the things that they go through, from ages 11 to 13. So we really focus on goal setting, teamwork, self-reflection. We help them develop critical thinking skills, and really just finding that inner strength that gets them to, not only be able to finish a 5K, which is a huge feat in itself, but hopefully apply those things to other parts of their life too. Having girls from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is really an interesting combination too. The girls can learn from each other. They can form friendships with other girls that they may not have ever done before or ever had the experience to do. And by the end, they go from strangers to being like a close little team who's really supportive. And it's just amazing to see how far they come. So it's been a really positive experience for those girls. A couple girls have come back. A couple girls in the middle level started at the elementary level. So they're really getting to build year after year on these amazing skills.
That's great. It's nice to see the program kind of continuing as kids go through. Sticking with the two of you, so as I mentioned, we just had our practice 5K up here at the high school in preparation for the final celebration on November 16th, which is the actual 5K. What were some of your takeaways from the practice 5K? It was cool. I was out there for it and got to see it myself. A great event. But what were some of your takeaways for you, Jenna, and for Ashley?
I think that it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity to celebrate that we have every season between 40 to 60 girls just here in Averill Park. I think some of these larger schools that we play high school sports against don't realize how small we kind of are out here in Averill Park. And to have 40 to 60 girls, that's almost an entire grade level of students across 3 buildings. So it's a very large number. We bring 3 to 4 teams together for the first time. As an elementary coach, it's a lot of fun to see those older girls returning to the Heart and Soul program and seeing that they continued on through the program. I have a fun fact like Karina had earlier. Running a 5K, only 15% of the population in the United States will run a 5K at some point. So that's a percentage of, we have 40 to 60 girls running that, 15%. At least some of them twice a year, some of them once a year. I have girls here at West Sand Lake that are current 5th graders that have done every season since we started here because they were 3rd graders, which it's just really cool to see them grow, see them develop those leadership skills and take on those younger girls. And the encouragement that comes from girl to girl, that's what it's really about. At the practice 5K, there were girls who had already finished running their 12 and a half laps around the track and they're back out there. They want to help the next girl. They want to know how many laps she has left, whether they cheer or they go start running with her and encourage the next person to finish the way they did. And another big takeaway from our practice 5K is every season, as I'm working on setting up that practice 5K and working with the athletic department to reserve the track and asking the football team if they mind if we practice running around them while they're practicing for sectionals and asking the transportation department to coordinate buses for us. And it really takes the whole district. And then I have high school sports teams reaching out saying, we want to help. How can we help? Last year, the softball team, varsity softball team came and they helped. This season, the varsity basketball girls came, and they don't realize that the younger girls think of them as celebrities and they're running the track, and just having a girl who they watched play in the last season of basketball put that X on their arm to say that they ran a lap is a big deal. So I think we really try to make it a community feel and include those high schoolers that are too old to be in the program, but give them the opportunity to see what the program is about. And since last week's practice 5K, I also coach basketball, and I've had those girls asking me like, when is the final 5K? We want to come. When is it? What time is it? Is it too early? Did we miss it? So every time I see them, they're asking more and more about it because they were like, wait, I don't even know if I could run a 5K right now. And here's these 3rd graders running laps around them and excited about it. So I think just that community feel that it brings to Averill Park is really important.
Ashley hit a lot of the points that I already in my head, but I'm just truly like amazed and impressed by all the girls who ran. Like, they had the energy for the full 5K practice. The running buddies are impressive because they just show up and they run with us. I don't know what they do to train, but it's impressive. The coaches are running. The fans were cheering the entire time. Like, the energy, the music, everything was just, it was happy and exciting and just really cool to be a part of. You almost get emotional when the girls are crossing each of their finish lines and you're just so proud of them. A lot of our Heart and Soul girls haven't even reached the 5K line at practice yet. So for a lot of them, that was the first time they've ever run 3.1 miles. And it was so cool because they were so proud of themselves. And it was just really awesome to watch. The fans were cheering. It was great to have the support of the admin there cheering us on. It's just really cool to be a part of. And I'm really thankful that Ashley and the elementary teachers have, adopted us into the 5K because it's really special.
That's good. It's such a positive experience. And to your point, Ashley, it was really great to see the varsity basketball girls out there and legitimately having a good time, like participating, enjoying it. And you're right, the kids were kind of awestruck by them. So very cool. Karina, can you talk to us a little bit about the big upcoming event this weekend, which is the culminating event for this 5K, the actual run? What happens there?
Yeah, well, and first I want to say, Ashley, Jenna, thank you. That was fantastic to hear. It just makes my heart so happy to hear what the coaches have to say and the impact it has on them and the girls, and even on the community. That's our big focus. So thank you for sharing that. So this Saturday, November 16th, is our big celebratory 5K. It is going to be held at Jennings Landing in Albany. Everybody is welcome to attend to help cheer on the girls. The race will kick off at 10 o'clock sharp. Like I said earlier, we had 256 girls this season, and 59 coaches on top of those people attending. We also have about 240 running buddies / community members who just want to come and run. So we will have about 550 to 600 runners. Let's add that we have another 125 volunteers who have signed up to do anything they can that day to support us. So we are pretty excited. There's lots of fun activities for the girls. We have a local high school student for Bethlehem coming to sing the national anthem for us. So I feel like this is a really good event for our young girls. And fun fact, because we love fun facts, the girl who is going to come and sing the national anthem is a former Goder girl. So she is very excited to give back now in 10th grade in a different way. So whenever I asked her, she was thrilled.
I think we've done a lot of podcasts. I think this is, if not the first one with fun facts, definitely the most fun facts that we've ever had. So thank you for all of the fun facts. That is neat. Good to see a alum come back to sing the national anthem. Jenna and Ashley, how do you incorporate these key characteristics and the trait building from Girls on the Run into your daily roles as educators? So you both obviously are teachers here in the district. And how does that kind of cross over? How do you kind of bring those two worlds together?
I just want to start by saying I'm really sorry I did not come with fun facts. Been trying to rack my brain for a good fun fact. But the program really just has the most important values. And those are things we try to instill in our students every day too. So to do it with girls in a more informal almost after school, we really get to dive into who they are. It's not always a conversation that's able to happen within the school day. So you get that really kind of close connection with the girls, and you get to focus on really important values that matter for running a 5K, but also matter in life, in school, in everything they do. So a lot of the conversations that we end up having with the girls are, about how does our brain make decisions? What's going on with your heart, your spirit? What's going on with, do you have the motivation right now? Do you have support systems? Do you have that strength within yourself? Do you need to reach out for help? We go through all those conversations, and 90% of them aren't about running, but they can be applied to running. They can be applied to school. They can be applied to their home life, dealing with siblings, with friendships. And it just makes me realize how much kids have going on inside their brains. So when I come into the classroom, I'm also thinking, okay, so they might be thinking about their social life. They might be thinking about something that's worrying them, a decision that's weighing on them. And it just really is that wholesome, we're learning about the whole kid. We're learning about the whole girl on the team. It's just important to remember that about everybody. So that's what's so powerful and important about Girls on the Run is it's so much more than just running. It's beyond that. And it's great to see the girls grow, and it's cool to apply and think about those values during the school day too.
I agree with Jenna. Girls on the Run is really less about running, and more about, I like the phrase being a good human, and that's what we talk a lot about. So at the Girls on the Run level, at the elementary level, some of our themes are positive self-talk, emotions, how to deal with your emotions, stopping and thinking and breathing before you react, sticking up for yourself, having a happy pace, being positive, telling yourself you can do hard things, and creating a toolbox of all of those different strategies and skills that you have. So it really helps girls realize during the school day, like, wait, I figured out a way to do this. There was a 5-finger breathing activity this year. It was something different last year, and we introduced it one practice, talked about when we could use it, came back the next practice, and I was like, has anyone used 5-finger breathing? And they were like, wait, I actually did. I didn't even realize, like, during my math test, I was upset, or I was frustrated with my brother, and instead of reacting, I took a second. And we try to really relate it to our everyday life, because being a girl is hard. And we emphasize that a lot, and trying to find ways to be those better humans. I've had girls come up to me and be like, I'm having a bad day, so I'm not going to run as much. That's okay. You need to self-reflect and see how your day is going. And when you have a bad day or you're not feeling 100%, you might not be able to run a lot, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're positive. You can cheer for your friends. You can move. And those are big life skills that we as adults do, and we don't know how we develop those skills. So it's helpful to start giving those skills to the kids when they're younger, because like Jenna said, they have a lot going on in their minds and in their everyday life. I also think that Girls on the Run in our classroom, being a teacher and having Girls on the Run and incorporating it in my classroom, I teach 2nd grade, so my students cannot participate in Girls on the Run, but we usually get a million 3rd graders that want to participate in Girls on the Run, because I'm a 2nd grade teacher. So all of the 3rd graders, when they are finally 3rd graders, want to participate. But it gives me a relationship with kids that maybe I didn't get to teach. So I'm another safe person for them to come to. We were talking about our Girls on the Run toolboxes last practice. And when Girls on the Run ends this week, like, how can you still use these skills? And one of the things was, well, if I'm having a really bad day, I don't have to ask to go see the social worker or the counselor. I could come ask to go see one of my coaches, and that might help me. And my teacher knows that I was on Girls on the Run. And I've had teachers come to me in the past and say, like, this student's really struggling with this. Is there anything that you're working on in Girls on the Run that can help them in the classroom? And I can say, like, use the 5-finger breathing strategy. Just tell them to, like, remind them about it when they're having a hard time or something like that. And we're using it in our classrooms, but kind of in like a secret way, because if you weren't on Girls on the Run, or you're a boy, you wouldn't know what the skills or strategies are, but the girls are teaching it to other people and trying to pass it along, which is really helpful, and it allows leadership to develop in different ways.
It's great that there's such a connection there. You're right. It's more than just a running program. There's so many other skills that are being learned and then translating. So Karina, I think when anyone listens to the program, it's pretty impressive and certainly much more widespread than even I realized. If any of our listeners would like information about introducing Girls on the Run in their community or their schools, they could be a parent somewhere else or work in another district, or how would they go about doing that? Is there a process or a contact that they could go to?
Yeah, we are always actively recruiting new sites. It can be a school, it can be a church, a community center, a park. We are currently getting ready for spring while we're finishing out this season, because we do 2 seasons every single year. I would start with our website, which is www.godercr.org, and Goder is GOTR. Or you can email me directly, karina.black@girlsontherun.org. Our website talks about how you can start a team, how you can coach, how you can volunteer. If you want to do anything else with our program, if you just want to read about previous seasons, it gives a lot of information. So I would ask people to start there or email me, and I'm happy to help. Like I said, we love being in our current schools, but we also love spreading the program to other sites in the area.
That's great. And certainly get Averill Park's recommendation. We've enjoyed having the program here. Well, I thank you, all three of you. I know it's a busy time, again, as we recorded this, preparing for the final event. So you're all pretty stretched right now. But we really wanted to get this out to our listeners once we had the idea to communicate what was going on. Just a great event coming up, a great program. And thank you to the three of you for your part in making it happen here in Averill Park.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. See you next time on Every Student, Every Day.